Recently, I asked ChatGPT to find me the best entry signal, exit signal, and best filter indicators. It gave me a few interesting ones that I never heard of before, so I decided to try them out and make a strategy script out of it and see how good it is. So next, I asked ChatGPT to give me complete objective rules-based strategy ideas combining the recommended indicators. It gave me 4 different complex strategy ideas. Here you can see those if you want to try them out, or let me know in the comments if I should test the other ones too. But this time I chose only one, the first one it recommended, and coded a simplified version of it. After coding it, I optimized for 2 assets and the results were great. So in this video I will explain you the full strategy and show you the optimizations I came up with. However, this time the strategy script code is not free, but you can buy it from our Patreon shop with the 2 optimizations included. By purchasing this script or any other scripts you can find in my Patreon shop, you are supporting me in creating and showcasing other free strategy scripts you can find on the TradeSmart AI channel. Now let's get right into it. Okay, so let's see the strategy. For this strategy, first head over to TradingView and set up the BTC USDT 30-minute chart. I am using the Binance Spot BTC USDT. Now this is how the strategy script will look like. This strategy that was created and recommended by ChatGPT is mainly based on 2 moving averages. The T3, which we use as a fast moving average, and the Vidya, which we use as a slow moving average. If you take a look on the chart, this will be our T3 and this is our Vidya. The strategy looks for entries on pullbacks. So for the long entry, for example, first we need the T3 to be above the Vidya. This ensures that we are in a general uptrend. And then the price needs to come back to the Vidya, touch it, go under it, and then close back above it. If that happens, and we are not using any other indicators, then it's a long entry. But with this strategy, we have many other filter indicators. First of all, you can set how many bars we require to be above the T3 before a valid pullback. For this optimization, it is set to 5, which means that before any pullback to be valid, we need 5 closed candles above the T3. For example, here we have around 20 or 25 closed candles above the T3 before a real pullback. For this optimization, we use another option, which is called Allow Reclaim on Next Bar. As that is ticked, that means that if the price closes under the T3 in the pullback phase, but then on the next candle immediately closes above the T3, then it can be a valid entry. Now here that was almost the case, but we have another candle close under the T3, so this is not valid at all. Below that you can set up the stop loss and take profit levels. We are using one of the best stop loss and take profit method I ever used, the ATR based stop loss, and it's a fixed stop loss. We have a 5 times ATR distance for the stop loss and a 7 times ATR distance for the take profit. That will create around a 1 to 1.4 risk to reward ratio. And below that you have 3 different filter indicators. First, the Kaufman efficiency ratio, which we won't use for this optimization, but I will show you how it looks like. Then we have the choppiness index, which is a pretty interesting indicator, and I think I will use it with other strategies too. It generally checks how choppy the chart is, and in this strategy we try to avoid entering into trades when the price is in a choppy period. And then we have the volume flow indicator, which is obviously a volume-based indicator, and that's it for this script. But now let's see the strategy. So first let's add our indicators. Open up the indicators tab and type in T3. Add this one, the T3 average by H. Potter. Then type in Vidya and add the variable index dynamic average, this one. Then our stop loss and take profit, the NNFX ATR. Add this one. And now our 3 indicators, from which we are only going to use 2 now, but I want to show you all 3. The Kaufman efficiency ratio, this one. Then the choppiness index, that's a built-in indicator, add this one. And then the volume flow indicator by Lazy Bear, add this one. Okay, now let's set up the optimized parameter settings for BTC USDT 30-minute chart, which generated these results. For the T3, we need to change the code a bit, because if you open up the strategy script, you can see 2 settings for the T3. One is the length and the T3 hot. Now this is set to 0.8, and on default in the code of T3, it is set to 0.7. Let me show you. This B value is the T3 hot. So we need to make that into 0.8. To do that, you have to click here, create a working copy. And now you can modify the indicator, so just change this value, the B value, to 0.8, and then click on Add to Chart. Now if you've done that correctly, you will get a new T3 on your chart. You can delete the previous one because we won't need that. And if I take a look on the code of this one, you can see that its B value is set to 0.8. Okay, next the Vidya or slow moving average. Let's enable it and change the length to 130. After that, or NNFX ATR, the stop loss indicator. Make sure its X value is 85, the TP value is 7, and the SL value is 5. In the styles tab, untick the sell TP, the sell SL, and the main ATR, as this is a long only strategy, so we only need a long stop loss and take profit levels. And change the line style to stepping. Okay, moving on. Now, as I said, we won't use the Kaufman efficiency ratio, but basically for this strategy, for the Kaufman, you can set up a minimum value for longs and the minimum value for shorts, and the length of the Kaufman. So if I would have used this Kaufman indicator and I set, for example, the 0.05 value as the minimum for longs, then long entries would have been only allowed if the Kaufman value is above the 0.05. But as I said, this time we don't use this, so we can delete it. And next up, the choppiness indicator. For its length, set 85. Then in the styles tab, uncheck the upper band, the lower band, the background, and make sure that the middle band is set to 50. The higher the value of the choppiness indicator, the choppier the chart is. For example, you can see that in this period, the price was moving up, down, up, down, up, down in a sideways period, and that's why the choppiness value is a bit high than usual. But when it's gradually trending upwards, then the choppiness value decreases, signaling that it is a trending market and not a choppy market. Now, one tip for this, I usually like to use a moving average with any indicator like this. And why is that? Well, once the choppiness value starts to decrease, that means that we are entering into a trending market. But by only using a fixed level for valid long entries, we first need to wait the choppiness indicator to move below that value. And then when it starts rising again, meaning that we are entering into a choppy market again, it takes some time for the choppiness indicator to get above that limit level. And as you can see in this area, we are already in a choppy sideways period. So by using, let's say, an EMA on the choppiness indicator, and setting its length, for example, 50. Now we have a better baseline. Why is that? Now, if you take a look, if we use this EMA as the baseline for valid long entries, that means that during this period, valid long entries were allowed. But starting from here, as the choppiness indicator breaks above the EMA, we wouldn't have allowed long entries. And take a look on the chart where that happens. So in this section, starting from here, we don't allow any long trades. However, by using only this fixed 50 level, the first bar from which we are not allowing long trades is starting from here, because that's when the choppiness indicator got above that 50 level. That's why using a moving average with an indicator like this is much better in my opinion. But this time I want to make this strategy a bit more simple and code what ChatGPT recommended. Maybe I will improve it in the future. And for the VFI, we use 180 length, a 0.1 coefficiency value, and a 4 max volume cutoff. Oh, and the signal length is 80. In the styles tab, you can untick the EMA of VFI, we won't need that. And these are the other settings I used. Okay, now we have all of our indicators set up. So now let's find a long entry, and then let's see a trade, and then let me show you the backtest results. Okay, here we have a valid long entry. For a valid long entry, first we need to see that the T3, which is this line, is above the Vidya, and that is the case here. Then we need at least 5 candles that closes above the T3 without touching the T3. Here we have like 10 or even more candles, so that rule is also met. Then we need to zoom in a bit. And at this point, now we are waiting for a pullback into the T3. Now there are 2 valid pullbacks. One is that when the price wicks below the T3 and then closes back above it. Now that's the case here. As you can see, this candle opened here, wicked down until this point, then closed back above the T3, around here. Or the other valid long entry, if this candle closes below the T3, but on the next candle it closes back above the T3, then that's a valid entry too. But remember, that's only because we tick this option, which is allow reclaim on next bar. If this option is unticked, then only the first pullback version is valid that I mentioned. Okay, and the two other indicators should also agree with this entry. From the choppiness index, we need to see that the choppiness value is under the limit level, which is this yellow line, and that's the case here. And on the volume flow value, which is this green line, needs to be above the limit level, which is set at 0. Both of these indicators agree with this long entry, so we can enter into a long position at the close of the signal candle or at the open of the next candle. As usual, the strategy script enters at the open of the next candle. Take profit will be set at the upper NNFX ATR line, this blue one, and the stop loss at the lower NNFX ATR line, this red one here. Now let's see how this trade plays out. And in this case, we hit the take profit level pretty quickly, but the stop loss got almost hit, so this 5 value seems to work pretty well with this trade. Okay, so that's it. It's a simple rules-based strategy, no trading stop losses, no complicated filters. If you want to see, here is another trade example. T3 is above the Vidya, which is down here. We have at least 5 candles above the T3 and then a pullback and close back above it. The choppiness index is under the limit level and the volume flow is above the limit level, so all of the rules are met. Long entry at the open of the next candle, stop loss here, and take profit up here, and the take profit level got hit right there. Okay, so now let's see the backtest results, but before that, as always, position sizing and the fee structure. So let's open up the strategy script, go to the properties tab, and this is the position sizing I used for the BTC USDT 30-minute optimization. We use a 10K initial balance and a 22K order size on each trade. This is not a compounding order size, this is fixed on each trade. So in the beginning, we are using a 2.2x leverage. The commission is set at 0.1% on each entry and exit, and the slippage is 2 ticks. Okay, and here are the results. Now we got a new update on TradingView, so now you can see these values here. But if we take a look on the equity curve alone, this blue line is the buy and hold equity curve, and this is the strategy equity curve. The optimization range was from the 1st of April 2021 until the 1st of April 2025, and during these 4 years, we got 153 trades, which generated a 194% net profit, with fees included, with a 25% maximum drawdown and a 1.4 profit factor. Here is the performance summary tab, the trade analysis tab, and the risk performance ratios. Now, when I optimize, I always leave a few months of out-of-sample data so we can check after the optimization how good the strategy performs on unseen data. This way, we have a higher chance to avoid overfitting or over-optimization, which is one of the biggest problems in algorithmic trading. So now let's take a look on the after-optimization date backtest results. And if the strategy performs well on that too, then this strategy has potential. But of course, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Always do your own research. And let's see. So this is the after optimization date equity curve. In this out of sample data, the strategy ends up around at the same level as the buy and hold, but that's totally okay, as nowadays, as you can see, Bitcoin had a pretty good run up. Let's see the values. We got 21 trades with 40% net profit and a 13% maximum drawdown. The win rate was higher, but as I always say, don't care about the win rate, because a low win rate strategy can easily outperform a high win rate strategy if the risk reward ratios are in favor for the low win rate strategy. Profit factor is pretty good, 2.33. So I'm pretty satisfied with this after optimization date backtest results. Let me know what you think. And before closing off the video, I will show you another optimization, but just the backtest data, which I made for NQ1 30-minute chart. And again, if you want to support my work, you can buy this strategy from my Patreon shop. I will put the link down in the description. And you can get access to both the BTC USDT 30-minute optimization and the NQ1 30-minute optimization. Okay. The backtesting time interval is the same as with the BTC one. And look at that equity curve. Now, I think this is pretty good. It has its ups and downs, but you can almost draw a straight line and the equity curve follows it exactly. What you can also see that the buy and hold is gradually trending up, but the strategy script's performance is elevating at a bigger angle, which means that it's performing better than the buy and hold. That is always a good sign. Now, during these 4 years, we got 172 trades, which generated 129% net profit and a 23% maximum drawdown. The profit factor is 1.44. Here is the performance summary tab, if you are interested about that, the trade analysis tab, and the risk performance ratio. Now again, let's take a look on the after optimization date backtest results. So the start date will be 2025, 1st of April, and the end date 2025, the 24th of October. And here are the results. The strategy equity curve easily outperformed the buy and hold. And in this around 6 or 7 months, the script took 37 trades, generated 80% net profit with only 8% maximum drawdown. Those values are pretty good. The win rate is not so high, 29%, but that's totally normal. And the profit factor is 2.6, which is actually better than the in-sample optimization date range data. So that's it. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this strategy, if I should improve it or not. If you want to see me test the other strategies that were recommended by ChatGPT, I'm interested about your thoughts on this topic. And that wraps up today's video. If you want to support the channel, check out my Patreon shop where you can buy the script presented in today's video and other strategy scripts too. If you want to see one of the best performing strategy scripts I presented on this channel so far, check out this video. Or if you want to see my premium, highly customizable strategy scripts that I present on my main YouTube channel, TradeSmart, check out this playlist. As always, thank you all for watching, have an amazing day, and until next time, trade smart.